People often ask me, who is the best lender for a VA loan with bad credit? I did online search and that question's asked quite a bit because there are so many options out there for the VA home loan. And so in this video, I'm going to outline some things to look for in a lender and a loan officer when you are researching this particular topic. The first thing to know is the VA home loan actually has no minimum credit score. Now, there are some very standard guidelines with regard to payment history, but there is actually no minimum credit score. Now, that being said, there are a lot of what are called lender overlays, and especially if your score is on the low side. Each lender has their own rules because the VA loan has so much flexibility in the way they give lenders their own guidance, that each lender has a little bit different rules. So there's a lot of what's called underwriter discretion in the VA home loan process. And I would also say you need to find a loan officer that knows how to go through the system. You know, if you're going with somebody that is their first time dealing with a manual underwrite or a lower credit score deal, they just might not know who to talk to and exactly how to proceed. So here are some of the different types of companies you can look at, and really I'll give my recommendation at the end. So the first one are banks and credit unions. Now, banks and credit unions can be good for car notes and certain types of loans, and for HELOCs, they're great. I even have one in my house from a local credit union. But for a VA home loan with a low credit score, the issue is that, one, they have minimum credit score requirements, which can often be a problem because that's the whole reason you're looking for a VA loan with a low credit score. It's oftentimes you might be under a bare minimum score. They might say it's 620 or 640 is the minimum score, and you're out the door without even having a chance to explain yourself or even show the circumstances that would allow you to get a loan. And secondly, because of the way licensing is, people don't realize this, but the licensing requirements to be a broker versus to work at a bank are very, very different. And I have testing and a lot of CE requirements they just don't have. It's kind of a carve out of what happened after the financial crisis. And so that what often happens is that the less experienced people will work at banks and credit unions. Now, there are a lot of great people who work at banks and credit unions, don't get me wrong, but you just don't know. Sometimes there are people there that are there because they didn't want to take the test and didn't want to take that extra step. But really, it's the much tighter underwriting that's the real problem there. Like, so you've got online lenders, your Rocket Mortgage, Veterans United, those kind of places. Now, those types of loan officers tend to work in volume. They get a very, very small amount of money per deal. And the way they make it up is in volume. They might only make $500 or $1,000 per closing, but they're doing 10, 20, 30 loans a month and pushing deals through. And the problem is that on a lower credit score deal where there's manual underwriting involved, there's a lot of customization involved, there's a lot of back and forth involved, they just don't have time to deal with that because they're making their money, and also, unfortunately, because of the way the mortgage compensation works, that typically loan officers that work with these online lenders are new to the business. And I get it. People want to start somewhere, but they're less experienced, which means they don't know the guidance. They don't know the rules. So even if the underwriter would accept it, they might not even know how to pursue that. Additionally, they have minimum credit score requirements, and oftentimes there's issues there. I have a whole video about minimum credit scores and people getting turned down by Veterans United that I can approve, and be sure to check my channel to see other videos on that topic as well. Next, we have mortgage companies. These are your guaranteed rate type places. And they're great people. I know a lot of people work at mortgage companies. The downside of working directly with a direct lender or retail lender, that we often call them in the broker side, is they only have one underwriter they can send stuff to. And that's fine. If the underwriter can do the deal and if the company can do the deal, that's fine. You probably get a pretty good, probably able to get accepted, which is cool. Your rate might not be as good as something I can get, but they can approve it. And so there are two downsides. One, the rate will almost always be higher than what I can get as a broker. And two, you've got one underwriter, one set of rules. And again, we got lender overlays. And if the underwriter doesn't like it, or the lender overlay won't allow it, you're out of luck. So finally, we have mortgage brokers. And in full compliance, in full disclosure, I am a mortgage broker myself. Edge Finance is one of the largest mortgage brokers in the country. And as a mortgage broker, I have a lot of advantage. One, I've been doing this a very long time. I'm very experienced in the VA home loan process, especially back credit VA loans. As you can see from my channel, I have tons of videos in this process. I get calls every day from people that have been turned down by other companies. And so that's one thing. The second is because I'm a broker, I have 150 different companies I work with. And each company is a little bit different. Some like bad credit scores, some like good credit scores. Some are okay with one little weird thing on credit, some are not okay. If, for example, I send most of my bad credit score stuff to one company, or quite a bit, not all of them, but quite a bit to a certain company. But then I recently got one where the guy had a big job change and he got a big pay raise, and I was trying to use the higher income, which VA allows. But this company said no, he has to be there for I think 6 months to a year to use the higher income. And I said, okay, well, I just took it somewhere else to a company I don't use often that maybe they wouldn't have got a good fit on a different deal. But on this particular deal, they looked at it and they said, oh yeah, we don't, the delinquencies are fine. And yeah, he had a huge job change, but it's explainable. And yeah, he's buying a bigger house, but it's explainable because of the whole scenario. And so they took it. And so that's just one story out of many scenarios I've worked with regarding bad credit and being a mortgage broker. So yeah, so in conclusion, use a broker. And yeah, this might be a slightly biased video, but I hope you take my advice. And whether you use me or someone else, I'm in a community called Vetted VA. There's a lot of brokers in there all around the country, but I'm licensed pretty much everywhere except for New York and Nebraska. I think it's the only place I can't do any loans nowadays. And one other state. I don't remember having so many at this point. But anyway, if you saw some value in this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. As always, if you have any questions about VA home loans, bad credit, or mortgages, or just want to say hi, feel free to text me. My number is 937-572-3713. And also check the rest of this channel because I have some other great videos about VA loans. Talk to you later. Bye.